Hey, David Talp here, nextlevelguitar.com. How are you? I hope all is well, and I hope your guitar journeys are going famously. Been getting a lot of emails about miking guitar cabinets and what mic should I use, and can you tell me a little bit about where to mic it and whatnot. And so I thought I would do a little module about just that, and play some examples of I'll play the same licks with the guitar cabinet mic'd in different places so you can kind of hear the difference. What you want to do first is get yourself a good multi-purpose microphone, a dynamic microphone. There's different kinds of microphones, as you probably know. You know, there's dynamic, there's condenser, there's ribbon, there's all different types. But at first, a good one to go with is something you could use for different applications, is a good dynamic mic. And like this one, this is a mic made by Audix. This is the i5. It's a great mic for miking guitar cabinets, horns, percussion, for a snare drum, toms even. So it has a lot of uses. And this is comparable to like another mic I use a lot, the Shure SM57, which is kind of like the old standard. Everybody has one of those in their bag of tricks. They're both great mics and they're both dynamic mics. The different mics are referred to by their transducer principles. A decent dynamic microphone, you know, they're very big sounding, very robust, they're resistant to moisture, so if you're playing outside and it starts to, you know, rain a little bit, you'll be okay. And they're relatively inexpensive. Like this mic by Audix is under $100. I think I paid about $95 for it. You can get a Shure SM57 for about $90. And again, it's a great all-purpose, multi-purpose microphone. Dynamic, unidirectional microphone with a tight cardioid pattern. What the heck is that? You want to pick the right microphone for the right job. And in this instance, we're talking about miking the guitar amp. Yes, you could use the microphone for other things, but let's talk about using it for guitar application, playing live, right? So what that polar pattern, I use the term cardioid, that's a polar pattern. What that means is where is the mic's sensitivity to different sound waves coming in at different angles and whatnot. And obviously, if you're miking your guitar cabinet, you want a mic that is only going to, if your cabinet is right here, right, and you're miking it, you only want the mic to have this very tight pattern on it. So it's only receiving the sound from right here, or else, like if this mic was like an Omni mic where it's receiving sound from all over this wide area, then you'd be getting tons of bleed through. The drums will be coming in and the mic will be picking it up, or the vocals, and it'll be picking up all the other instruments and whatnot. And the cardioid is a very tight, kind of like a heart-shaped, unidirectional. It's not going to take sound that's back here. It's not going to pick up sound up here, right in front of it, kind of like a heart shape. And there's other types of polar patterns, like you might hear the term cardioid, supercardioid, hypercardioid, figure eight, omni, the mic that receives it from all directions, all over. But you want a dynamic mic with this tight pattern, so it gets limited bleed through. And this is the dynamic mic, which are relatively inexpensive. And how the dynamic mic works is there's a diaphragm in the microphone, and the sound wave enters the mic, you know, through this tight cardioid polar pattern, right? And it moves that diaphragm. When that diaphragm begins to vibrate, a coil moves within a magnetic field. That's why these mics are also called moving coil mics. You might have heard the dynamic mic referred to as that also. And then when that coil moves within that magnetic field, that's how it produces that signal, that current. So you want to kind of find that speaker within the cabinet. And then, you know, there's a few choices that you have. The most popular choices for mic placement are, depending again on the sound you want, the sweet spot, and what you like, but a lot of people like to find the middle of the speaker, which is approximately right here, and then go halfway between the middle and the end. So halfway between the middle and the end would be right there. You put your mic right there. Some people like miking it right on the end of the speaker, okay? And some people like to mic it more toward the center. Again, you're going to have more of the higher frequencies. And then there's the angle of the mic. Some people like to mic it directly at a 90-degree angle, mic to the grill cloth, right about an inch, 1 inch, maybe to 2 inches from the grill cloth. And then some people like to mic it this way. Now I'm just pulling it out just to show you, with it angled toward the grill cloth, but pointing toward the center of the cone. I'll show you what that sounds like when you do that too. So you want to experiment. want to get for your guitar amps, for your cabinets, you want to get a dynamic mic, you want to get one that has a real tight cardioid pattern, and you want to get something decent like the i5 or the Shure SM57 or something along those lines. Can't go wrong. Pretty much with either of those mics, you'll find that you have lots of application to use them. A lot of times in the studio they use SM57s on snare drums. I mean, it's a great dynamic microphone. Where do I put it on the cabinet? Okay, there's a lot of debate about that, and my philosophy is I don't think there's any right or wrong per se. I think a lot depends on personal preference. A lot depends on the sound you want, because you want to locate where the speaker is in your cabinet, and then the sound is always the brightest, or you'll get that most treble, the highest frequency at the center of that speaker, and then it dissipates as it goes toward the end, and you'll have less of that higher frequencies at the end of the speaker, on the outer edge. So you could, if you really like that more highs, or you're going for that type of sound, or you really want that treble, then you'll be miking it more in the center. As opposed to, I like to mic it more toward the end, or half the distance between the center and the end. Okay? But I can't tell you to definitely do it in any one place, and that's the way to do it, because a lot depends upon the sound that you like, and a lot will also depend upon too, some of it too is the actual room where you're playing in. Sometimes some rooms just sound better than others. The acoustics are better. Some rooms there's lots of glass or hard surfaces or stone, and that could be a big problem. So you have to experiment, and that's the big thing, experiment. So what I suggest you do is, wherever you're playing live, or where you're practicing, or wherever you're miking your amp, get a long cord for now and step way back, and then have someone move the mic, like put it toward the center, and then listen out the PA speakers. Go way out front and listen how it sounds. Then have them move it half the distance. Right? Listen again. Have them move it around the edge. Angle it. See what sounds best to your ears. The most common ones I could tell you are, most guys seem to mic their cabinets half the distance from the center of the cone to the end and stick it right there. And then a lot of other guys, like myself, more toward the end of the speaker. Okay? So those are probably two of the more common positions. You want to find the sweet spot, and you might find the sweet spot on one of your amps may not be the exact sweet spot on a different amp, because, speakers obviously are different between amp manufacturers, even between amp lines and models. And the biggest thing is, experiment with the mic placement. There's really nothing set in stone. Find what sounds best to your ears. I'm David Taub, co-founder of nextlevelguitar.com. Be sure to check out some of our other lessons here on YouTube on microphones and mic placement and whatnot. And be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking on that subscribe button, which I don't know where the hell it is, because YouTube keeps changing things. It used to be over here. Now I think it's up here. And it used to be yellow, but now it's orange. Or it used to be orange, now it's yellow. I don't even know anymore. But click on that subscribe button and you'll be notified when we have some new lessons out. We try to do, keep the good people rocking with plenty of good stuff. Also go to our website at nextlevelguitar.com. There's nothing like it. Over 850 video lessons, lessons on gear, lessons on effects, beginners, intermediates, advanced. It's just packed, and it's just totally awesome. There's a guitar forum on there. There's jam tracks, chord library. It's a great site. You'll really like it. So check that out at nextlevelguitar.com, and we will see you in the next lesson. Take care and rock on.